Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Illini Esports Invitational. We are here for grand finals of SSBU. My name is Soy. Joining me is Loki, and we are getting ready for Michigan State versus Northwood. Northwood entering from winner's side, Michigan State just coming off of a win over the hometown team.
Do keep in mind this is a best of 3 grand finals, double elimination. So if Northwood takes this one, that will cause a grand final reset. Sadly, if that does happen, it will not be on stream with us today. But we've got a best of 3 here set up for you. MSU coming in hot off that last win. Went all the way down to last stock, last player in game 2. No room for error. So hopefully they can carry that momentum through to this next game and really keep that energy high.
We'll have to see. These two teams are very familiar with each other. Not only have they played here at this LAN a couple of times, but they've also played in a couple different collegiate leagues. So we'll have to see what the storyline is entering today. Northwood, they have been playing on fire, and that's one of the things that I think is really interesting is that Northwood entered as a 4 seed,
yes,
but they are usually outdone by a number 1 seed who catches fire at the right moment. And look at Michigan State right now. They are the number 1 seed entering this pool, but they have grinded their way through losers a couple times now, and now they get the run back against the team that put them there.
Yeah, Northwood has been insane throughout this tournament. MSU, though, coming into this extremely hot. They just won another collegiate tournament that got them to a national level tournament, qualified them there. They won in this region specifically. Now coming into this one, it's going to be absolutely insane. 15 stocks are on the board, 2 games to win it. So you gotta win, you gotta kill 30 stocks in order to find the victory here. It's gonna be a long match, it's gonna be a long day.
It's going to be a long match indeed, especially with the way that these two teams like to play. The decision-making, the tension is palpable in this room. These players on stage, they know every single stock matters. Every single decision that they make in-game matters. So both players feeling the tension, getting ready for this one. But it's also interesting that so much talent is going to be on that stage. So many of the players on this grand final in particular, from Northwood and Michigan State, going so deep in the singles bracket.
Yeah.
And also, you go back to the start of this tournament. They started off the tournament so well. So many of these players, Dice in particular, with that huge 10 stock to kick off our day for SSBU. Then Northwood coming back with players like Frostbite, who have had minimal time in terms of crews, but then getting top 3 in the singles bracket. There is so much potential for an explosive match here today.
Yeah, I think that look at Hawk is a really, really big one. Look at Dice is a huge one. You know, Hawk went really, really deep into those singles, whereas Dice opened us up in the most explosive way possible. And with crews being it's so, so important that you keep those resources, keep the stocks, keep alive, having a high, conversion rate on however many stocks you're putting in versus however many stocks you're getting out is hugely important. Characters are rewarded in these crew battles for being efficient above anything else.
You have to be very efficient as we are getting ready for that first match of the day. We'll be waiting to see those players locked in momentarily. Looks like it will be Frostbite versus Linus to start off this grand final. Frostbite, that player that we mentioned that got top 3 in singles, the Roy main that has been such a good anchor for the squad. Instead, they will be the leadoff man. Linus has cycled through a couple of different characters, but today they've been rocking the Rosaluna.
Yeah, which is what we have down from their main. I talked to MSU's coach. That's what they told me. Linus is a Rosalina main. That's on the notes they have. That was all the documentation. So the fact that they've saved it for Championship Sunday, for this moment, playing these other characters, working through, finding their way, and now that it's like time to shine, nothing can be left on the table. All right, I'm pulling out the Rosalina.
Gotta rely on the bread and butter moving forward here, but it should be a very interesting match. A reminder that this is a best of 3 crew battle. So, not the end of the world if you drop the first one, but the next one will be an issue as Northwood, there's a chance that they get the bracket reset on them if they aren't careful here. But Northwood, the last couple of times they've played Michigan State, have gotten the better of them. Not only did they knock down Michigan State to the loser side of the bracket in the winner's semifinal, but also in a couple other collegiate leagues. 2-0ing Michigan State in, I believe, a CEC qualifier. 7-0 stock count, 4-0 stock count. Northwood is a team that feels very hot and cold in these types of moments. They either get these massive wins or it is nail-bitingly close. Whereas Michigan State on the flip side, they have really been on the grind to get to this point.
The thing that I look at with, that Northwood MSU matchup, with that history that's brought in, it feels like Northwood kind of has the matchup game on MSU. Because we've seen every single one of these games go extraordinarily close, all the way. You know, last stock, game 3, most
Last
it could
hit.
go. Last hit, even, game 3, the most that it could ever be. But they're not showing, or as those previous Northwood games are showing a greater Northwood edge than you would expect with where we're at.
It'll be interesting to see where these teams go from here, because it'll be the opener of Grand Finals, and they've already played once. So they haven't played today. These two haven't played against each other, but they are teams that are very familiar with each other. By the sounds on our headsets and the sound on stage, we are getting ready for game number 1. Frostbite Linus, and it looks like it will be Roy versus Min Min this time around.
Yeah, Linus not pulling out the Rosalina. Instead, I think they're going for the counter pick on Frostbite here. Frostbite, one of those consistent heavy hitters from this Northwood side. So with switching to this Min Min, adding a little bit of range, adding a little bit of, you know, that Min Min style, you might be able to find your way back in, but right now, Linus just styling all the way to 2 stocks.
Very, very strong start there. That tether recovery susceptible to being edge guarded, and Frostbite able to do so in that moment, stopping that tether recovery. And while a tether is very good, Min Min's is a little bit shorter. Think about Joker's and how long it is versus Min Min. It is significantly shorter. Throwing out those hits could be very, very difficult for Linus to make it back to stage. But so far, Frostbite with the lead, with a pretty solid one at that, and already working on stock number 2. And that is another signature Frostbite move, the falling side B, acting as a drag down, and already working on Linus's stock. Already 92% here on stock 2.
Yeah, lapped by double now. Frostbite absolutely in the driver's seat. They're finding great opportunities to ledge guard Linus as well, which has been huge in this tournament, huge in this region, just looking for those ledge guards. Now, though, Frostbite not in the great spot. Linus got him with the ring. That Roy recovery is so susceptible to being caught out.
Especially on a character like Min Min, who's got so much range that Ram can dip below and cover that recovery like you saw in that moment. And now another chance at it. The laser will not be thrown out. Frostbite armoring through it, or not armoring through it, but essentially clanking with it with that forward air, trading to make sure that they don't take any damage and they're able to make it back to stage.
Stocks even now, percentages far from it. Linus trying to get Frostbite back off stage. Does manage to do it, catches with the ring once again. That's going to force Frostbite back to the ledge. The roll in, though, gets them there. The aerial's coming out now. Can they get the kill here on this edge guard? The back air would do it. Tries to go for the grab, but just a little bit not spaced correctly. No worries, dash back in's going to get them there. The runoff, can't find him. Linus recovered high, but as they jump back on the stage, Frostbite's got him.
What a sequence there. They both grabbed the ledge, and you thought there'd be a ledge trump, but they both jump instead, and the back air from Frostbite is just faster, and it's a sweet spot too, which means down goes Linus to their last stock.
Already moving it once again, going all the way off stage. Can they find the second hit? No. Oh, but they get spiked as they try to get back. Frostbite down to 1 stock, 56% on Linus, but they're already back to it. That dancing blade, such a useful tool, and they've got that offstage hit.
And they're not going to be able to make it back here. The jump got eaten out by that forward air and that upbeat tether too far away. Too much damage had been dealt, and Frostbite comes up with the opening win in this series.
An insane matchup there and an insane way of going about it. To get that offstage hit, to eat the jump and fight their way back through is massive, and that keeps them on the table. Frostbite doing such a good job of setting the tone here in this match against a character that Roy doesn't probably play the best into it. It feels like Min Min probably has like a, you know, plus 0.2 or something like that.
Yeah, it feels very difficult because while Roy is very fast, they are also very fast on the ground specifically. Yeah. And Min Min does have the coverage to be able to cover something like short hops, which Roy really likes with things like short hop nair, short hop forward air, even those back airs connecting. So it's not easy for Roy to get in, but what you saw from Frostbite in those moments is if they can get in, if they can get through the long arms that Min Min has, that damage can come online so quickly. And how quickly Frostbite kills, he does not allow a lot of his opponents to survive in the red for very long, which is another huge factor in a crew battle like this.
No, he's also amazing with that back air. Back air, probably the best tool Roy has for finding kills, and the speed at which they pull it out when an opportunity presents itself is amazing. That ledge where they both jumped up at the same time is a great example. Didn't get lost, didn't get worried, didn't run through it in different ways, but managed to just throw out the back air, find the kill, and keep things moving. And now Hawk has come up to the table.
Hawk is going to be stepping in as the second member of Michigan State, the Rob player for the side of the Spartans. He's looked very, very good. We've commented a couple times. He is most notably done very well in doubles brackets, but he is a very experienced player because of that. He gets to go up against a lot of the top talent in those doubles brackets, and the Rob has looked very clean. In fact, he was one game away from making top 8 of singles. Last hit, last stock against Kirby from UIUC, who just fell in the crew battle moments ago. The Rob will try and clean up this Roy here, but this is a very pivotal matchup because I see Rob and I see Roy on the other side, and I think that's a big body for that sword to hit.
Yeah, it's a big body, especially with that disjoint. A lot of those Rob hits are throwing their own arms out, trying to connect the best they can, find some multi-hits. And against the sword, if they meet in the air, it's going to be up to Hawk to try to space it correctly. All right, we're sending it in, though. And already Frostbite right to him, getting the grab and into the aerials. There's cracking up the percentage. But now, up on the ledge, can they get back? They sure can. No worries about that whatsoever. Hawk now at 60% and forced to the side of the stage. And Hawk once again, or as it was, Frostbite, just throwing out these up Bs consistently on stage, and I don't think they've been punished for it once.
Two very aggressive styles going at each other right now. Hawk wants to take the stock very quickly, but he's getting punished very quickly for it. Good parry here. Nair ends up trading, and the laser will fight through, and that's something that Roy does not have a whole lot of answers for. Those projectiles, the gyro, the laser. There's no easy way for Frostbite to deal with that, but a grab comes through. Maybe with a little bit of rage, it could follow up, but a great timed air dodge from Frostbite gets them out of the potential kill confirm. Falling up air will knock Rob away, but now look at the patience here. So dangerous, looking for any kind of option, and they're able to escape for the moment, but it's only just a moment. Jab back air comes through, and Northwood will continue to extend their lead.
Frostbite knows the classics. They're so clean on those classic Roy plays, but they're not going to get another stock. The up air from Hawk comes through, and a 1-for-1 trade keeps MSU in the lead by just one stock. Hawk able to get through without losing anymore.
Big stock by Frostbite to take there, earning that lead, making sure that Northwood continue to hold advantage in a matchup like this. Northwood with a lead, one of the most dangerous teams in the nation when it comes to crew battles. So looking very, very strong off the start here, but we've seen Michigan State battle back before, and in particular, when you look at Hawk and the way that they play, we talked about it before, Rob is a very versatile kit. They can play aggressive, they can play passive, they are jack of all trades, so counter-picking this Rob is not going to be very easy for the side of Northwood.
No, not at all. Northwood brings a lot different stuff to the table. I think that K roll might be a very interesting choice here. Kind of go projectiles to projectiles. Use that weight to keep it moving. As we're looking at the stage now, it is going to actually be so good pop. So we are bringing the projectiles to the table, but not in the form of a cannon, just in the form of a soccer ball and a sun.
That's right. SGP stepping into the ring is the Wii Fit trainer for the side of Northwood, and they have looked very, very good in crew battles so far. This Wii Fit going to be very dangerous, and like you mentioned, those projectiles, a huge, intricate part of the Wii Fit kit. Now, how does the Rob deal with this? Well, they've got a reflector in their kit, but it's a very committal reflector. That side B can reflect projectiles, but it can be very quickly punished. And we've seen SGP also be able to flick that switch in terms of going from passive to aggressive very quickly. So curious to see what style he opts for here entering this battle.
I like that both of these characters both have a high committal neutral B and a low committal neutral B.
Right.
Whether you're just throwing out some harassment, you really want to go for the kill. Either of them can do that. I think if you find one of those off stage, that soccer ball off stage or the laser off stage, we're going to see a lot of shit going that way.
Should be interesting to watch here as they're debating, I think, about the stages or the music right now.
Oh, the music. The music's so important. You got to set the tone.
The tone does very much matter here. Curious to see what stage we end up going to for these two, because, again, it feels like these two are pretty even in terms of wanting to buy each other space. You want the time to get deep breathing. You want time to get the soccer ball out. But Rob's projectiles do win out in those battles. Gyro is stronger than soccer ball. Laser will knock back the soccer ball as well and will fight through the Sun Salute or the neutral B for the side of We Fit. That being said, Battlefield is the case, so maybe some platform extensions if they get to that scenario, as both players very good at juggling in their own right. But we are underway here, and already is Hawk out for blood.
Yeah, Hawk needs to take this quickly, continue to see if they can't if they can't get back that lead, they need to find first kill. Great juice there for the other person's soccer ball, hitting it back in to stop the charge of Sun Salute. Now Hawk looking for a little bit more, can't find that up tilt, gyro out, is exactly going to beat that soccer ball just like you said. Can't find the downer there, but is going to find the neutral air into side B in the air, taking them all the way to the edge. Can they find the forward air? No. So good Pop, able to stay alive just a little bit longer, but they've trended pretty high in percentage now.
Hawk throwing out a lot of these side Bs and going for things like back air and down air, but they have not been able to find the mark today. Just hasn't been able to connect on those moves. Trying to buy some space. Good grab on this platform. Well-timed air dodge there by So Good Pop to get around that up air, because that likely would have killed. And now So Good Pop trying to extend this lead for Northwood, as right now 86%. Hawk has to recover high now. Good falling there, though. We'll get him back to stage.
Such an amazing nair. Covers so many different options, especially for a character without a disjoint like So Good Pop. So Good Pop now in the middle of the stage, tries to find the dash attack, can't do it. Gonna get knocked right back off. You see Hawk there fishing for those down airs. None of them are coming through. So Good Pop making good use of their recovery to make sure they stay in control. Now, Hawk thrown off stage. Also looking to recover about just middle of the pack. That air dodge in, a really good mix-up, and it catches So Good Pop off guard. Back to the middle of the stage. Hawk now getting a lot of shield pressure out. So Good Pop getting the kill, and now Northwood maintains this lead even further.
Forward tilt will do the trick, and still So Good Pop able to hold on, but only for a moment. Down smash will be able to take it, so one off the board here. Both teams still sitting at double digits in terms of that stock count, but you got to feel like Hawk is looking for any kind of momentum to try and bring this one back. They do not want to sit at this 2-stock deficit. Can they find their opening here? They have not had the chance really to pull off the gyro combos. They're looking for them here on the platform, but now the juggle game coming online. 3 up airs, make it 4. Looking for a 5th here. Instead they get the nair. There's the 5th.
God.
And look at the extensions. Already 54% racked up, and there's no good way for So Good Pop to land.
They take 64% in that combo off of 8 aerials. Count them up and knock them down. So Good Pop now on the edge of the stage, trying to get grabbed in by Hawk, not gonna be able to find it. Hawk now off stage, gets caught by this charge smash attack, just sending it right to him. Back towards the other end of the stage now. So Good Pop doing whatever they can to try to maintain space, get those soccer balls and deep breathing in. But this projectile game from Hawk makes it so incredibly difficult. Regrab there on the ledge, not gonna lead them in. Another time trying to go in against the shield. That time works out for So Good Pop. They managed to get the grab, throw Hawk off, but once again, Hawk just has such a good high recovery that So Good Pop doesn't have an answer for yet. Just I think because of the threat of that nair and the threat of the dare.
Especially with fast falling, but he jumped back towards the ledge, and the forward tilt catches him, and down goes Hawk. That's another member of the Spartans knocked down.
And that extends the lead to 2 stocks now. Getting that lead slowly, but it is building over time. MSU struggling to kind of reconnect with those markers and get that lead back under control. I really think we need to see a strong response from them here. If we don't see the 2-stock, I think it starts to become a little bit untenable, as that becomes, that the 2-stock difference becomes a greater percentage of the stocks that are left.
It's interesting to see because Michigan State, again, a lot of their matches have been a little bit closer, but when it comes to those massive point swings, a lot of those players are still remaining. Dice in particular has been that go-to player for those massive point swings, and it looks like Dice will be locked in for this next set. How will they deal with So Good Pop projectiles? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Falco's got a long-lasting reflector in their pocket that can deal with the soccer ball, that can deal with the neutral B, and we've seen the combo game from Dice has been on lock all weekend long, zoned in, honed in, and ready to rumble here on Battlefield.
Yeah, that's Shine, one of the best things in any Star Fox character's kit, and we're already off to it. Dice going for that low run-in and the aerial is not going to be able to connect with it there. They're a tiny little bit of a hit, but can't suck it into the rest of those multi-hits. But now they've got those up tilts, sending it all the way, climbing up the platforms, and So Good Pop's up to 65%. It just keeps climbing.
Looking for another opening here as So Good Pop starting to trend towards the red. And we've seen Dice clean up these stocks pretty quickly. Wants the extension. Very tall there, and that's going to be the stock off of the up air. Not one you see frequently kill, but that's twice today. Dice has gotten that little bit of extra height thanks to the platform and gotten the kill off the up air.
And this is exactly what the Spartans need. Brings it back to 1, and Dice not taking a whole lot of percentage during that time. Now, though, up to 73, they're having a really hard time landing against this so good pop. You know, just barrage of aerials, getting a little bit of Dice's game turned back against them. Now, Fair coming through, as on a little bit more up on this platform, trying to shield everything out. Not going to work for very long, though. Up tilt, almost taking it back to the ceiling once more, but So Good Pop manages to slide out of it. No, wait! The up tilts are back in it, sending him back to the top platform.
There's just so many multi-hits, and you can't hold shield for too long because then you get grabbed. And guess what happens when you get grabbed? Even more damage coming through. Another side beat down low here. That'll be just barely able to snap to the ledge. Up tilt there will not be able to take the stock quite yet, so Dice surviving here, but this is a crucial, critical stock here for both of these players. If they take it, it's going to be a tie game at 9 stocks apiece, and if not, Northwood will continue to hold the lead. Low edge guard here. Do they get the down for air? Yes, they do. The 2-frame not needed. The down air will do it. Sour spot and all will give Northwood at least the lead for now, but can they take the stock?
Yeah, no chance to even it back up now for Dice. The most they can do here is just get out of this one cleanly. Either way, Northwood's going to have a 2-stock lead. Not quite getting the kill there. Dice really wants to take this one high, and they're really struggling to do so. So Good Pop here on the corner, trying to find their way in against Dice at 142. That Fair would have killed if it connected, but it didn't grab it all the way. The drag down, they don't get the re-grab. They weren't, I don't think they were planning for it to drag down.
Stalling out for so long along this ledge. Side B gets caught, and now a chance here for So Good Pop, but they won't be able to get too much off the back of it. Air dodge back to the ledge. Weave it on the ledge. Very difficult to deal with. Up throw won't be able to kill quite yet. Another forward air will connect, though, and from that corner of the screen, it will do the trick. 166. Down goes the Wii Fit, but it's still a Northwood lead.
Northwood lead by 1. So MSU getting it back just a little bit, bringing it a little bit further back together. Dice always so efficient during these crew battles. I think they're an excellent, middle of the lineup, middle of the roster, mix-up character. Bring it in, either bring that lead back into control, or if you're in the lead, just send it through. Simply because they're that efficient of a player, they very, very rarely take neutral fights and exchanges that they don't have a high chance of winning.
There are very many players for the side of Michigan State who can make those big point swings that you were talking about. We have seen this time and time again from Michigan State. 1 or 2 players per crew battle have popped off here or there. Hawk has made some big plays. Dice, we've talked about already, has made some fantastic stuff. But the real big threat that has really stepped up on that stage has been Crash, the Terry player for the side of Michigan State. They're debating about who to send it, or sorry, Dice is locked in, so they're going to have to worry and wait and see who Northwood will send in next. And when you look at this Northwood lineup, a lot of strong contenders. We mentioned Frostbite getting top 3 in singles, Copel also qualifying for top 8, but they still have a lot of pivotal players like Nukin and Sensational in this lineup. And Sensational is another big name that has really stepped up in these crew battles because of their nature. The burst character, Captain Falcon, is their main, and they have made such good use of that character.
You want to cause an explosion, a shift in mental, and cause, an uprising in your team spirits? Captain Falcon's the person to play for that. Every single play they do is extremely hype. They are a walking montage.
They are indeed, but I believe that this is going to be Nukin stepping in for the side of Northwood, and that signals to me that the Joker is going to step into the ring here against Dice's Falco. And this, to me, feels like, again, another very Pendulum-esque matchup because Joker, obviously a lot of good stuff in their kit, but the biggest key is Arsene, and that meter can rise and fall in a matchup like this very quickly because of Falco's combo game.
Yeah. All of those combos don't do a ton of damage as individual hits. They just trend through that damage through all of the hits put together. So with Arsene able to build it very quickly. Of course, you want Arsene coming up online. You know, when your opponent starts to get around like 60-ish%, that's just enough for you to, you know, get that last 20%, get them into kill range and find it, but not going to be able to start off very fast. Dice coming in hot and grabbing 30%, make that 40, make that 50, make that 60 now, 70 all the way, keep it going. 82 is going to be where the train finally stops.
Dice looking like Mario with all these up tilts and up airs connecting, but look at this, side B into forward air, won't be able to take the stock quite yet, and now you got to deal with Arsene and that rage, but the back air, soft hitbox connecting. Arsene also almost about to disappear. There they go, able to shield a couple forward airs here. Those multi-hits could poke through eventually, especially dwindling on that shield, but now the chance here for Nuken, but not able to find the back air there, so no edge guard coming through.
No, and no Arsene now. I don't think we saw a single Arsene attack through that. Amazing by Dice to keep the advantage, to get the percentage high, and find another kill off the top.
Tie game now, 8 stocks apiece here, so Nuken has to come up with something. Arsene will come online roughly around 40-ish%, so they're starting to trend that way, but maybe they can get something online earlier if they time their Rebels guards correctly. We have not seen Rebels guard really thrown out yet, so we'll have to wait and see if that becomes a factor. Otherwise, Dice has the momentum here, but they are at 96, and they are getting dash attacked off stage. Just barely gets around that back air again, and Dice surviving at this stock means so much.
Arsene's going to come up in a moment. They're at kill range, but do keep in mind, 60% trending upwards. Dice be able to kill at such low percentages so much of the time. And Joker, not exactly known to be the most, heavy character, the most survivable character when they're thrown off with those huge smash hits, those huge back airs that Dice really loves to use. 120 now for Dice. Arsene's trending down. We need to see Nuken go in hot. Not able to find another big Arsene hit. Dice doing such a good job of neutralizing Joker when they're at their strongest.
Neutral air getting shielded as well. Nuken holding stage, has not been able to catch these side Bs in, and Dice has used it a couple times in a row. So Nuken, we'll see if he catches on here. Guns not landing. First hits of jab connecting, but no follow-up. And Dice now looking for another attempted edge guard here, playing so carefully around the stock, looking for the up tilts. They're able to find it, finds the up air off the back of it. Arsene halfway here, but the dash attack comes through, and Dice is off stage once more.
MSU here has a chance to find their first lead of this game, of this set. Back throw, barely not killing. Dice flying high and just trying to soar their way back to stage. Another side B coming through, doesn't connect the shield. Too good. There is the up tilt though, and if you've been up tilted at a high percent, you're going home.
Huge stock there, and now Michigan State have their first lead of grand finals. That is a huge turning point as Nuken still looking to take one stock off of Dice. Tries to find something, gets spiked by the side B, but at such a low percent, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Arsene will come online momentarily, and at 193, you feel like Dice's second stock is near forfeit, but maybe they can make something happen here. Up tilts connecting, Arsene online, backing away, does not want to get countered here because that will likely be the stock.
Gotta respect the counter, especially when Arsene is out. A grab though, can that one kill? Yes, it can. Takes 200% on the Falco. Are we sure we're not watching the Copel up there, the K-roll with the survivability?
Copel has done such a good job at surviving at those high percents, but Dice this time around on the light Falco able to do the same here. 91% on Nuken, and what can they do with it? With all this rage, they've got Falco off stage, but the guns downward don't intercept them. And now Dice will make it back for the moment. Good tech, but it gets red. Grab comes through, back throw, or back air to knock them off stage once more. These timings from Nuken just barely not connecting, but there the side B will connect to the back air, and Dice retakes the lead for the side of the Spartans.
First game we're seeing end with a lead towards Spartans. If you want to get back into it, Dice is the character to put on stage. And this middle of the lineup shift change feels like it could be massive.
Dice being a huge impact player here for the side of Michigan State. Only 2 members left now for the side of Northwood. Copel, the King K. Rool, and Sensational, the Captain Falcon for the side of Northwood. Well, they'll have to figure out who they want to send in to try and deal with this one stock of Falco. It wouldn't be the first time that either of these two teams have met and played this type of game. I'm curious to see when they opt to send in Copel, because in theory, you look at the matchup of the characters and you think Falco, very combo heavy. You do not want to opt to send in that heavyweight into them, but we have seen in the past Copel opt for a couple different characters, and Copel is being locked in, we're told, for this next match. Mostly the King K rule. We did see the one-off Puff in singles play, but it was a very kind of, it did not work. They did not win that game, but Falco into K rule does not feel any better.
See, the thing, though, is when you have to deal with just one stock on the table, you don't have to look at just who's on stage right now.
Right.
You gotta look at who comes next. Because let's be honest, the likelihood that, you know, any sort of 3 stock happens in this game is, it's not 0, but it's pretty dang close. And so I think Cope was actually a really good pick, because they, you know, eventually that stock will get taken, and then you have a very versatile player on stage, ready to go to, you know, maintain that presence.
And I've said this 1,000 times, right? The heavyweights are just meant for finding ways to take one stock in battles like these. If you just need to find a way to take one to either give yourself an advantage or give yourself some wiggle room, secure a lead, the heavyweights are built for that. Find a way to take one off the board. There's just so much kill power in their kit, and being able to survive for so long is just very difficult to do when they've got all that rage built up as well. So Copel on the King K rule here, on small battlefield, looking to try and find a way to take down Dice, but look how patient Dice is, finally finding their moment and starting to get that combo game online.
Yeah, I love seeing these combo heavy, fast characters, you know, respect the weight that a lot of these super heavies give, you know, understand, hey, you're gonna have to play a lot more punish focus with this. You know, we see a lot of times these faster characters want to just send it through on the heavies. Well, they pack super armor, they pack huge hits, they pack stuff that's gonna overpower your moves. You don't want to just send it right to them. You gotta play that punish really, really heavily. And so far, Dice doing it extremely well, hasn't taken a percent, and that's a 0 to death.
What a play that was. The turnaround was so clean. The first laser, you think he's just gonna stay there or maybe back away, but no, it's turnaround back air saying you can't come back to stage. I still have a hitbox ready for you. And Copel getting caught, and like you mentioned, the 0 to death, but now maybe an edge guard. The runoff forward airs have been a huge thing for Copel, especially in that singles bracket, taking down numerous stocks, but a lot of reflectors being thrown out. If that connected, that was easily 60%, but luckily shielded away.
My favorite mini game in Smash is table tennis. Sometimes you just gotta play Pong in the middle of a Smash match. You know, get that different diversity of experiences going. But now, Copel, same verse, or second verse, same as the first, getting pushed off stage by these aerials, these multi-hits coming through time and time again. The regrab comes through, the upper air comes through, taking him to the top rope, can't find it. Now, Copel trying to land, they get stuck on that platform, another up tilt, a back air, not quite gonna kill it, doesn't get the hitbox they're looking for. Edge guarding situation, Copel, can they find it? Just barely can't. It's going to be Copel living for just that moment longer at 144.
And you know, Dice is also looking for the same thing. He's looking for something like drag down nair, drag down forward air, a grab, even a falling up air could lead to a potential kill here. They're looking for any kind of setup, any kind of chip damage. This time they'll land the nair, but it's not the drag down. They get knocked away instead, and Copel will get to survive once again. And this is what the heavyweights can do, in particular Copel, right? 160. Roll behind, though. He goes for forward air instead. The one aerial that likely wouldn't kill. Even up air maybe would have done a decent amount of damage and gotten some stage control back, but this forward air should do the trick. It will take down Copel's second stock, and Dice is putting in so much work in this opening round.
I feel like I've caster cursed it. I said we can't see a 3-0 in this one. I'm thinking it could happen. Now, though, Dice about to prove me wrong. At 118, they need to survive. Any strong hit will do it, and right as I say it, I caster curse it back into unexistence. Copel gets through with one stock. Both teams only 2 players left, but Copel on their last stand.
Copel able to survive and hold on, but Dice eliminated from this opening crew battle. But Northwood still at a deficit, like we mentioned. Michigan State now, they will have to opt or choose who to send in. And it's an interesting question because, again, we mentioned it, a lot of players for the side of Michigan State have had those pop-off moments, have had those big swings. Dice was one of them. The other one has been Crash. Crash 101 will be plugging in here and stepping up to try and deal with this King K rule. And I like the game plan again because Crash, his Terry has been on point today and loves to try and go for those early kills.
Yeah, I think this is a great play. Put them up there, take the stock, be aggressive, be quick, and then be set up for that next one. Anything that, Crash finds, anything they do getting past Purple is just insurance all the way. That's just setting up your team for the future. When you're down to these scenarios and you have, a 2-stock lead like you do, I think you just need to focus on maintaining that. You want to have the buffer. At some point, Crash is going to go down. They're going to go down. Just the skill is too much. 3-stock versus 2-stock, we'll trade it out 1 for 1. Crash goes down. But if it's a 3-stock v 2-stock and it trades out 1 for 1, well, now it's a 1-stock v 3-stock, and that feels pretty good.
Yeah, that certainly would be a massive lead to go into the next round with, but we got to deal with this one first. Kopel. How long can he survive against the scariest Terry here in the State Farm Stadium? 4-6, that stock count, and certainly ready to scrap with the Crocodile. Kopel dropping those first 2 stocks, and we are about to get ready underway here on PS2. This is one of the big things. Those projectiles can be so difficult for Crash to deal with, but if he's able to weave around them, if he's able to parry them or get through them, he can get to that big body and get that early damage online.
Yeah, and I think Crash showed in that last match how good their movement is at dealing with those projectiles. There almost start something exciting, but the Crown says no. Instead, just going to run back to that neutral game. Crown and that dash, that wave being so incredibly important. Now Kopel off on the ledge, not really going to see a big ledge guarding attempt there from Crash. Instead, just wanting to play towards the middle of the stage, play this neutral, and get an insane dive there, sending it right on through. Kopel trending upwards in this percentage, over 100 now after that throw, and stuck on this ledge. We've seen Crash now fully commit to this ledge guard, and of course, right as I say that, they dash back to mid and want the neutral reset, so they can start flipping on through.
Those crack shoots have been so good at getting over the Crown, getting right into K. Rool's face, and pressuring that shield can mean so much for this Terry. The down B is actually going to beat out the smash attack that Kopel was throwing out. Over top he goes and gets the stock, and now it's a 6-3 lead.
6-3, 2 players versus 1. Only 1 player left on Northwood, and they're pretty sensational. You might even say sensational.
Sensational will be stepping in as the 5th and final member of the side of Northwood. This Captain Falcon is scary good. They have been so clean at getting kills. In particular, their edge guard game, I think, has been very notable. And those early startups, they, when you think about Captain Falcon, you think about the falling up airs and you think about first hit nairs, but they are so consistent with it. And the one thing that they really haven't been able to do, they often try and get the knee at the roughly 60%-ish type of combo, but they often get the softbox or somewhere along the line they air dodge out. So those early combos have not been as clean, but when it comes to the red percents, where it matters, when it comes down to last hit, last stock, Sensational has come up clutch more times than not.
Keep in mind, they also have a Sephi in their back pocket, a
Sephiroth.
True. And Sephiroth v. Terry is a very interesting matchup, I would say. I think you can get a lot done on either side there. I think whoever, if they do end up playing the Sephiroth, whoever gains advantage first and sets the tone, probably going to keep advantage throughout in that kind of game. But no Sephiroth today. We're just going to see the Captain Falcon 3v3 stocks, so no need to jump off the edge of the stage. No countdown. We're just right into it.
1 man left standing for the side of Northwood. It's Sensational here in the opening round. Can he pull off a 6-stock reversal here before dropping 3 of his own? He's got to find a way to take these 3 off of Crash, but Crash not going to make it any easier. Neutral control right now in Terry's favor. Grab, looking for the up air, up B, and they will continue to work away at this stock. And even though it doesn't get the kill, it's a lot of early damage.
A lot of early damage. That up B is insane. It can kill remarkably low percentage and great ending to a combo there, just to add on a whole lot. Sensational lingers on the ledge for too long, and the down tilt is all that's needed.
Unfortunate circumstance there, just dipped a bit too low and can't make it back to stage, so Sensational drops the opening stock here, and now this is a massive lead for the side of the Spartans. 76% only on Crash, so it's going to take a little bit longer for Sensational, in theory, to take this first stock off of the Terry, and he's still got to find a way to take the next two. He's looking for an opening here. He'll find the back air. He's thrown out a couple of these up smashes, trying to catch Crash being a little overly aggressive. He tries to contest the down B, but again, the timing is just too clean from Crash.
That down B is so hard to contest perfectly. Such a great move, good mix-up recovery, tons of damage on stage, and if you're standing anywhere near it, it's gonna hurt. Crash now with Go online, and look at this, Sensational, going for the down A, gonna get it, and Crash back down to 2 stocks.
And there's really nothing that Crash can do about it in that scenario. When you are forced to recover low, you are susceptible to spikes, especially like Captain Falcon's down air that have that kind of disjoint because of the extension of those legs, and that is how Crash will drop their first stock here. But look at this, the reads are coming through here from Sensational. They're looking for the style points too, back-to-back spikes. They're looking for this up smash, but again, it's betraying them more times than not. They cannot find a way to connect it.
Crash now got them near the edge of the stage. Sensational off now, ledge cutting situation. This has been huge all day. No waiting this time. They learned their lesson. Sensational gonna jump right on. And there's the up B off stage. Crash, you're out of here.
Keeping their stock alive here is the big key. 125. Can they survive against Crash's Terry? Down tilt, not landing. Nair getting interrupted. Another parry comes through, and Sensational is looking for that combo starter. They're looking to get the chip damage. They need to win neutral, but they may not have the time to do so. The down tilt conversion into the up B will put Sensational on their last stock.
Last stock of all of Northwood. All of the hopes and dreams of this first game bundled into this last stock right here, right now. Sensational working to see if they can keep it. Crash at 70, trying to keep this combo going, not going to be able to do so. That little flip from Terry covers so much, so well, and another down B from Crash connects. They just keep throwing them out, and they just keep connecting. That one, finally it's shielded, but not punished. Crash able to get out of it just in time, and another flip kick comes through, looking for a little bit more. That short hop aerial can be brutal, but there's the knee! Send it through, Sensational survives!
Line him up and knock him down. First hit Nair into the knee, and down goes Crash. So Sensational keeps Northwood's hopes alive in this opening series against Michigan State, but they will have to find a way to take all 3 stocks off of the final member, which is Suspect for the side of Michigan State. So another fighting game representative, but this time it's Kazuya Nishima.
Kazuya Mishima. It's a crossover, Not only is it Smash, we got the crossover from 2 other fighting games, bringing it all together in a huge last chance fight for this game 1. Do keep in mind, after this one there's a game 2, so not the end of the world if they can't find the 3-1. And that would put MSU 1 game ahead and that much closer to the reset which MSU needs to win.
We'll have to see. Small battlefield to pick here. Sensational will have to drop these opening 2 stocks, but Suspect has been so clean at taking stocks off the board today. We'll have to see how they do against Sensational. Feels like a very rough matchup here, especially when Suspect is giving you no time to breathe, immediately dashing in, getting the grab, but Sensational able to trade some damage back right now. But look at the combo game on these platforms. So dangerous. So many ways Kazuya can get these early stocks.
Kazuya only at 23%. Sensational 60. Oh, huge attack there, adds on a ton of percentage and keeps Sensational trapped on this upper platform. Can't find their way out. The short hop aerial is continuing to come through. These platforms are so brutal for Sensational to get on. They're just getting trapped on them so much.
Gets knocked away once more.
Oh,
And the coverage was so clean, so well read by Suspect, and they're able to clean up game 1 of this best-of-3 series. Michigan State are 1 step closer to the run back.
Suspect knew. He's like, I only need the 1 stock, and I can just throw it. It's a predictable up B. I know exactly where they're going to go for a low recovery, and all I need is the 1 stock. Doesn't matter if I lose it. It's the last player. What's the last game? Just send it.
And they're able to do that, and they're able to secure it as well. So, Game 1 of this series going to the Spartans and looking mighty strong at that. A full 3-stock victory, a full player ahead basically. And that tells me that Michigan State, they are playing with a fire under them. They are fired up, ready to go and ready to rumble as we get ready for set number 2. I'm curious to see the lineup adaptations that will come through, especially because Northwood, now the emphasis is on them to make a play. They now have to find a way still to win 2 sets, and they've already dropped 1.
Well, we saw them start out so well. They had that 2-stock advantage. What shifted was when they got to Dice. Dice was the deciding factor that turned this from a Northwood, momentum Northwood lead back into MSU's favor. So honestly, what I'm at right now is, where's your answer to Dice, Northwood?
That is the big question here. And when you look at the cast of characters that Northwood has, there are no easy answers. Copel, in theory, maybe if he's able to survive, but that is a very double-edged sword type of game to play. SGP, the Wii Fit seems decent in terms of dealing damage, but again, that reflector is ever present in a matchup like that. I would think Frostbite would be a very strong answer considering how Frostbite has played, but you also need Frostbite for a couple of these other matchups because of how potent Frostbite has been today. So there are no easy answers for Northwood, and the emphasis is on them to make that lineup change, but that is something that they will have to consider during this intermission.
Here's the thing, if you keep Frostbite back, trying to find, to use them as the answer to Dice, you're not leading off with Frostbite.
Right.
That you're not starting with that momentum, with that, amazing player who, let's be honest, deserves that leadoff spot. Like, if you're not putting Frostbite there, is that a player you really want to keep in reserve,
Roy is a double-edged sword in their own right because of the way that they play very fast, very strong, can get kills very early, but when they're off stage, there are so many characters for the side of Michigan State that can take full advantage of it. We saw Hawk numerous times try and go for things like the down air. They are able to edge guard that Roy. They have the tools in their kit to deal with Roy in the first place. So it is not easy for Northwood to play that type of character counterpick matchup. So I feel like the question is who's most comfortable with what matchup, and that's what Northwood is trying to lean towards here as this series moves on. Both of these players getting locked in momentarily for this next set. Looks like it will be SGP, the Wii Fit, going up against Linus, who we see on the Rosa, on the Min, on the Bowser today.
We've seen a lot of diversity from Linus. I don't think Linus mains random is what they main. And I do like that, Frostbite not coming out first. Interesting decision there from this Northwood squad, keeping Frostbite back, sending So Good Pop out first. And So Good Pop absolutely deserves that leadoff position as well. They're absolutely worthy of it. And up here against the Min, so we're seeing projectiles versus reach is the name of the game.
An interesting battle because of the distance that can be covered by both of these players and both of these members. And you can see that projectile, that soccer ball ever present in a matchup like this because it's such an intricate part of Wii Fit's kit. But the problem is it can be very easily knocked back by Linus in the first place. So we'll have to see how they adapt, how they overcome in a matchup like this, because it's also not necessarily easy for SGP to be able to move in and get in on the Min because of the speed that Wii Fit has. It's not like a Fox or a Roy where you can quickly weave in and out. That airspeed is not all that fast.
What's interesting with this projectiles, though, is it's forcing So Good Pop to play a lot, or it's forcing Linus to play a lot closer than we normally see Min-Mins playing. They're playing, only 1 or 2 quarters of a stage apart, when beforehand we've been seeing them kind of sitting at half stage. Instead, this time, pushing a lot more forward, looking for a lot closer of those hits in order to deal with the projectiles that are coming out of them.
You would normally see in a matchup like this, I think, Linus stand under those platforms, forcing that soccer ball to kind of be at an odd angle or a very predictable angle because those platforms can kind of protect you from projectiles. But SGP, they do find their way in here. They are able to get the berry, and they are able to get that forward tilt kill very quickly and not eating too much percent in the process. They only took about 44, but look at this, the edge guard game now coming in here from Linus. Do they get the timing right? No, just barely off target, and SGP will survive.
SGP here looking for their way back in, looking very steady in this matchup so far, but now they're at high percent against a Min-Min, getting ping-ponged back and forth on the stage from ledge to ledge. Dragon coming out, just not quite catching it. They've also got that Metaton ready to go, that Metawatt, which can be huge, brutal. Dragon off stage. Are they gonna get it? Nope. Instead, just keeping that Dragon, keeping that Megawatt, looking for the big hit with it, and they find it.
Huge stock there to take, answers back, and it's a dead even game once again. And both these players, again, playing so passive, so careful, tenured aggression, making sure that they are not eating too much damage in the process here. Who will find that next big opening? Who will exploit the mistakes of their opponent? That is the question right now, as it looks like it's going to be So Good Pop. They've gotten some good early damage, but now they're off stage, and with no jump, I believe. No, they do have it, and they are able to quickly snap back to ledge.
So Good Pop now has the percent advantage. Linus really fighting their way back in this though. That up tilt able to do a whole lot. And those arms trying to do all they can to keep So Good Pop at the range where Linus wants them. There's a very slight range where Linus is at, their maximum effectiveness in this matchup. Soccer Ball doing a lot to just keep things out. Those headers can be brutal. So Good Pop now trying to get in the aerial there. The Sun Salute don't connect. Neither do. And Linus able to run out of this disadvantaged state with very little lost.
Very little indeed. 122 on this Min-Min.
Oh,
they
the
will
berry.
die to this. No!
No!
They go for the falling Nair and they miss it. And that's another gift given to the side of Michigan State. They're able to survive here at 133. So Good Pop maybe getting a little greedy with that combo. Could have gone for a forward smash, and they will pay the price for it as the laser will connect and knock down that stock, but it's now one apiece thanks to the forward tilt.
I think with that berry, they just expected the mash out to come sooner. Instead, Linus letting it go for a moment, waiting for it, getting that huge mental game, and able to survive and grab that kill. Now, back to 0-0, one stock apiece. These teams staying so tight with each other. Those nairs, brutal. Linus keeping So Good Pop in the air. They can't figure out a way to land. They're stuck on this platform. Finally, they touch the ground. They have to use the Sun Salute to do it, but it gets shielded out. So no huge progress there made onto Linus, or as it was, onto Linus there. So Good Pop doing such a good job keeping everything out. Those headers now, though, working so well at this ledge. Barely. Linus able to get back on, and now in their own situation. Can the ring come out? Can it connect? Yes, just barely adds on a bit more damage. The Metawatt is out now.
Second arm connecting and being able to get even more chip damage on. Both players starting to trend towards the red here. Jabs to knock them away for the moment. So Good Pop at the percent disadvantage. They're off stage once more. Can they find their way back on? They're able to shield the Megawatt as well. But the Nair, the lasting hitbox, able to connect. Not enough to take the stock quite yet, though. Another well-timed air dodge from SGP will help them get back to stage. And the back air with deep breathing will be enough to take it. And the opener goes to Northwood again.
Northwood just barely keeping their advantage. Keeping their early game, early crew battle momentum with that one stock victory. Do keep in mind the percentages get reset, so that high percentage kill, it doesn't matter what percent you kill at, doesn't matter what percent you get out of it at, you're right back to 0 and you're able to play out that whole stock.
You're able to start off that stock at 0, entering the next one. But one member of Michigan State down, but that one came down to the wire, tooth and nail. They were scrapping for it, and now Michigan State, they got to go through that decision-making process again. One stock left of this Wii Fit. Who do we send in? Who do we want to be blind picked potentially for this next stock? Because this one stock feels like an inevitability. The question is, how much can SGP get out of it?
I almost want to see Hawk come in off of it. They're versatile, all-around player. There's very little matchups that work well, and it does seem like it's the Hawk coming in. I'm just that good. Just that good.
Hawk stepping into the ring, locked in as that next member. For the side of Michigan State, the Rob player, that versatile player that we've talked about. Noticeably in these first couple crew battles, I feel like Hawk has gotten very aggressive, just right off the bat, similar to Suspect. Dash in, get a grab, dash in, go for things like short hop forward air, and continue to link them together like how Puff does. And that is something that is very interesting in a matchup like this, because what SGP wants to do, immediately run away, get deep breathing online, get those projectiles out, stall this game out. In a situation like this, time and time again, where it's 3-1 in stock count, if you are the one, you want to drag this game out, you want this game to be longer.
The thing that worries me a lot about this matchup is we see Weefits wanting to hang out by this ledge. Hawk has a lot of options to take you from the ledge and put you in the blast zone, just rolling you through the aerial. That aerial juggle, that side B, that laser, all can be used to take you from just a little bit off ledge to very far off ledge in a very quick sense.
Hawk scouting, looking for these grabs, but not able to find too much off the back of it. So good pop, landing so many hits here. Quick 61 dub, back throw off stage. Deep breathing now online. With deep breathing, you can get these stocks very early. Threatening those quick jabs, could follow up off the back of it. Air dodge away. Hawk wants no part of all that extra damage, but he will find the up air. 48%. Make that 59 thanks to the Nair. And the juggle game of Hawk has come online here with a little bit of rage. This is a dangerous spot for SGP.
Hawk now trying to find it, not able to. So good pop, getting hit the wrong way, back towards the middle of the stage. Trying to find the way to land now, just barely doing it. Back here, not connecting. Laser, gonna be able to help out. The soccer ball turned against them. So good pop gets a taste of their own medicine, all the way off ledge. Now, and there it is, waiting for the aerial to send it, and Hawk keeps all 3 stocks. That lead is gone.
So well executed there by Hawk to get that gyro in the perfect place. And that's a setup that we see very frequently from Rob, but it's harder to execute than you would think. You have to get that positioning perfect. That gyro bouncing, that lingering hitbox can send you a couple different ways. And that time around, rather than trying to space out for the up smash, which we've seen numerous times from Hawk, they throw out that large back air saying, as long as it's pushing me away, the space that I'm covering with that hitbox will be a bit larger. It will be more likely to hit, and there it's able to clean up the stock.
From Northwood, who do you think we're seeing next now? Against a Rob, against an all-around player like Rob, I feel like you have to kind of go all-around to all-around, right? I mean, So Good Pop would be the pick, but
in theory.
Yeah, not going to be able to do that one anymore. So Good Pop already taken off the table.
Last time we saw this, we saw Frostbite step in to try and deal with the Rob. It was the opening match of the day.
I feel like Frostbite's being kept back, though.
But I
feel like Frostbite's being kept in that reserve right now.
I do agree that I feel like the game plan for Northwood is, let's see what happens if we hold our anchor back. We do see a couple of different options, right, between the multi, like you said, the various kind of jack of all trades. Nukin, I think, is one of the players that there's a lot of emphasis on for the side of Northwood because Joker has that kind of that powerful swing ability of Arsene. But again, with the way they struggled against Dice, I'm not sure they want to send them into Hawk, and that is what they are avoiding here. They're going to send in Sensational to the stage, which is the Captain Falcon, and that is a pick that I really like. Rob is a tall, big body, easy for Falcon to get those first hit and air combos on. This feels like a very solid pick for Northwood.
Yeah, smart. That just shows great understanding of the game. Both of these teams so incredibly intelligent. And I love seeing that community aspect, that mental aspect of these games, trying to mind game out the opponent, not just in the micro play, trying to get the read, but in this macro play of how do we set up, not just to win this game, but to win the games after it and the games after that. How do we get the most possible out of every single resource we have? Crew battles are just like, they're kind of like card games almost. Like, oh, you're going to play your dice? Well, I'm going to play my Frostbite card. I play Frostbite in trap position.
We'll have to see how this battles out. I'm curious to see how the neutral looks because, again, Falcon traditionally has struggled with projectile-heavy characters, and those two projectiles on Rob are very, very strong and can shut down a lot. So Hawk, that decision-making, that's on them. The fact that they've got those projectiles in their kit, when to use them, when to pull back, that is their big question mark, as they're already getting a lot of early pressure here. Falcon off stage, though, gets back aired, and that is nearly a 0 to death. Barely scratched, 19%, and that's going to be a lead once again for the side of Michigan State.
Very, very quickly right back into this. Hawk now getting pushed back. Sensational, wanting to get this back in very, very quickly. There needs to be a response that needs to be sent. Every single bit that goes by gets a little bit further away. Hawk now off on the side of the stage. They're trying to use that gyro grab. Not coming through. Going to be those jabs. What we're looking for. Laser stopping the aggression from Sensational. Able to push them back. And with that laser on board, it becomes so much harder for Sensational to get in because it does have that little bit of knockback that can start setting up aerials.
Ooh, got the drag down to that up air, but he's not able to get anything off the back of it. Down tilt's landing, connecting into a grab, into a down throw. No up tilt afterward. Good mash out by Sensational, but now they're stuck in the corner here. Back air doesn't come out in time, so can't pressure that shield. Dash up grab, whiffed upon by Sensational. He's looking for any kind of momentum, but there's just too many hitboxes to worry about. Hawk's movement on this Rob is so clean, but there it is. That first hit and air combo into the knee. Won't be able to take the stock quite yet.
Now a little bit too low of percentage, but don't worry, we've got down air into knee. And that will even it right back out. Sensational here, still at high percentage, needs to play this a little bit safe, a little bit further away. Tries to pressure the shield, gets punished for it.
Back air will take down that next stock, and we're back to a one stock lead for the side of Michigan State. Sensational looking for an opening, but they might fall here. Wow, that side B very early could have actually done the trick. They're looking for a spike of their own to try and even things out, but not enough in the tank. Now a side B startup into a Nair. Looked for the falling up air, but won't be able to find it. Nair stuffs at the side B once more, trying to call out a roll in with these side Bs, and now we're starting to see these players pull the trigger a little early on some of these combos, looking to land their reads.
You gotta commit to it now that they've got the download. They can try to go for these huge combos. Up air, can they find the second one? That'll do it! No, it won't actually. Sensational gets the perfect DI just at the right percent. Hawk can't find the kill. Now it's Hawk being taken to the skies. Knee doesn't get the good hitbox, so Hawk gets to live for at least a little while longer. Gyro in hand, looking for the opportunity. Not going to be able to really find too much. This neutral going back and forth. Both players really looking for a read for someone to commit first so they can find the punish. Dash attack not going to connect. Hawk able to weave on through it. And now Sensational on the ledge. They're grabbed, they're buried, they're up aired, they are gone.
That lasting up air, the multi-hits come through, and just barely, the very last one connecting despite him air dodging through everything but the very last hit. That's all that they needed, and now Michigan State, they are back in the lead, and they are that much closer to getting the bracket reset, knocking down Northwood, who's been a bracket demon for them in the past. This #1 seed is heating up at the right time.
MSU is hitting their stride at the perfect moment, hitting their stride exactly when they need to. And do keep in mind, this is a team that struggled against Northwood before. Previous tournament results tell us that this is a Northwood-sided match. Not the case right now. All of these teams know each other super well. All of these teams scream constantly. They're all cheering for each other during singles. But when it comes to this crew battle, the data shows Northwood should be ahead right now. They've got here, lossless. MSU fell earlier. In this grand finals, though, MSU truly has the energy. They truly have that momentum backing them.
They really do. They've got a lot of momentum, and it's off the back of really every player stepping up for the side of Michigan State in particular, right? We look at these big players like Hawk stepping up with that experience that they've got, knowing what to do, how to execute, and making their game plan just flexible enough so that if something goes wrong, then they can still adapt. Kopel will be stepping into the ring, I believe, for the side of Northwood. The King K rule player will be opted or will be used here. And this feels, again, very manageable, but there's a lot of being put on the back here of Kopel because of the situation Northwood finds themselves in.
I really like Kopel for this pick. I mean, Kopel does an amazing job at just not dying, which I think is a really good kind of, middle bracket mix-up. Again, they just need the one kill. That's what super heavies do. Last time didn't really go as planned. This time against a Rob, I think those projectiles might find a little bit more success. Rob does have the reflector. Again, super high commit though. Honestly, using a crown or a cannonball to get out the reflector, kind of a good punish move there. That's a good bait. So gonna have to see Hawk relying a little bit more on that shield than I think they would like to. We're gonna see Hawk all the way down on that one stock. Or as I was that two stocks. So Kopel here needing to find that. They need to stay alive in order to get their team back into this one.
Kopel, we've seen pull off some great comebacks in the past, and they've got a reflector of their own to maybe stuff out the gyro or laser, but we'll have to see that used. It's not a move that Kopel is really prone to. We really haven't seen that used all that frequently outside of really last time they were on stream in that opening set, so we'll have to see what happens here. Cannonball and Crown being cycled through, and the gyro now in K-Rool's control means the projectile game going in their favor, and they'll help chip away at this stock, and there's really not much Hawk can do about it at the moment. They got to wait for their opening. They might have found it, but the jabs off of that down air. Kopo looking for something spicy, but not able to find anything else off the back of it.
Kopo there getting punched a little bit by Hawk before responding very quickly. Hawk now on their last stock. Kopo not at a super high percent. There's the berry, not going to be able to find the up tilt off of it. Mash just a little bit too good, jump a little bit too high, but back air adds in a lot. Laser and gyro not connecting the way they want to, but that's a very predictable recovery, and it leads right into an up smash. Can they find a bit more? Yes, they can. Another up smash off of a parry. Kopo now needs to find their way back onto stage, is going to be able to do so. The neutral reset chosen by Hawk. I think that's a really, really smart move in this situation.
Gotta back off here. Don't want to pay the price and eat even more percent here. See what you can get. You do not want Kopo to hold on to all three of these stocks. And now a grab comes through. Down throw, high percent, up air will do the trick at MSU. Regardless of the outcome of this game, they will hold the lead headed into this next match.
They keep it no matter what. No chance of getting it back out. Counter does come out for Kopo, one of the few times we've seen that. Up throw though, onto the platform, leads into an aerial, and now Kopo needs to get back on stage. They're going to use Crown to do it. Aerial coming through that neutral air. Crown out once again. Kopo consistently using that cannonball, drag down, but the spike on the edge of the stage comes through, and Hawk sent down. Kopo still with 2 stocks in their possession.
We've seen Kopo go for that back air all weekend long, and I'm not sure he's landed it once. It has been the bane of his existence. He keeps going for it. It has not worked until this very moment on the big stage. He finds the back air spike, and I do think actually Rob had a chance to tech it, but might not have been prepared for it in the first place because you're very close to that side of the stage. So either way, Kopo.
Let's be honest, even moving that fast, that's a real quick tech.
Yeah, that is a very, very difficult tech to hit, and either way, Kopo certainly in an advantageous state. So they do drop a stock, but it is only a 1 stock lead moving forward, and I believe this is Dice stepping into the ring for the side of Michigan State, the Falco player that has been such a huge menace to so many players in the bracket. Dice is Falco, locked in, ready to rumble with the King K. Rool that is locked in. Kopo has no option but to play this King K. Rool. They were locked in from the previous series, and now they'll have to face the brunt of this bird.
I feel like this is such a good time to use Dice. You get Kopo, you know, really, really good matchup leaning Falcon here, leaning Falco, and, you know, middle of the stage. This is where we like to see Dice come in to really extend that lead and start up the engine that is Michigan State.
See a big opening here. We typically see the raw forward air in that situation from Kopo, looking to try and take these stocks early if they can. But now the up tilt landed. No easy way for Kopo to get back down to stage. The early counter used there, trying to get out of that combo. Crown back to stage. Well timed on that throw, but still the Crown connects, and you saw them try and reverse it again. Kopo looking for any way to shut down these combos.
Still, percentages as they trend higher, it's Kopo who's in the lead. And do keep in mind, with the weight of this, it doesn't really matter, you know, if the percentages are exact. A 90 on Kopo is not the same as a 90 on Dice in any way. Drag down fair comes through though, can't find the follow-up hit. As they lean down, they can find yet another one, and they do manage to pick up this Crown as well to keep it out of the range of Kopo. Kopo will grab it though with that berry, and Dice not off to the start they were looking for.
And this is where things get scary. We talked about Kopo's survivability, how it's such a key factor for them. Cannonball connecting as well, but they get the side B spike. No chance at a attempted edge guard for Dice. They weren't ready for it. Armor helps them get back to stage as well, surviving up to 148 here. And Dice has a lot of good kill power, but they need to set up into it. Up tilt is starting to fall out of that range. Kopo good DI to get out of that tricky situation. So it's going to take just a raw, stray strong hit for the side of Dice to do it. And just as it is, forward air will do the trick and knock Kopo down to their last stock.
7-8. Kopo now looking to get back into this, only 58% on Dice. Those multi-hits, so brutal to get through as they cover just so many options. That laser as well, Copel, one of the big things they do is that platform drop with B, and if you're trying to do the vacuum with platform drop, that's just the perfect chance for Dice to do a quick draw on you, hit you with that laser, and just add on a little bit more percentage. That reflector as well also being huge, and now Dice going for that neutral air, forcing Copel off stage. Another ledge guarding situation. Shine not going to find what they want to. His crown drops back down onto Copel, and oh, the aggression punished up air from Copel.
Oh, Dice drifted too far on that aerial and pays the price for it. A little bit of armor, too, would have helped out in that situation. The up air wins from King K. Rool, and it's down to last stock apiece here. Copel, though, 115. How long can this crocodile survive? He'll be able to get back to stage only for a moment. Still getting hit by all the multi-hits that Falco brings to the table. Crown reflected. Side B in gets blocked. Cannonball away. Side B looking for those back airs. That's been Dice's bread and butter, but he's unable to find it here. Looking for any kind of setup once again. Good parry on the Crown as well. Has to find time to pick it up. There's the Nair. Kill Sparks on it, but I should say that he will survive here. Laser being landed as well. Another forward air should do the trick, and it will. Copel goes down. Dice holds the lead for the Spartans.
Only by 1. They didn't gain any ground there. That's the big thing. Dice's big thing has been gaining ground. This time, kept neutral. They only have that one stock left. They are locked in no matter what here, and we haven't seen that big explosion that I think we really expected going into that game.
Very, very close between these two. Like you mentioned, Dice has been a very explosive player. When you look at the number of stocks they've taken, they continue to average higher than above par or below par, however you want to phrase it. They continue to take at least 3, maybe even 4. But the fact that they are now down to their last stock is a huge difference maker, especially with 2 members remaining for the side of Northwood, and one of them stepping up to the ring here. I believe this is Nukin entering the arena here, the Joker player that we saw get shut down by Dice in the previous set, which tells me that you are correct in your prediction. Frostbite will be that anchor for the side of the Timberwolves, and that is a huge deal maker here because Dice, they have been the go-to player for the side of Michigan State, and now they get another shot at this Joker.
Last time didn't go the way that Nukin was really hoping it would. This time, hoping for a change in fate. All they need to get past Dice here is that one stock. Dice, though, did such a good job at never even giving the chance for Nukin to really contest. Last time, it would have just run it right through. 1, send it!
Countdown for the players on stage, and we are underway here. Only a 1-stock lead, like we mentioned, for the side of Michigan State, but Nukin, if they take it, it's back to even. And we saw Dice take numerous stocks and shut down Nukin completely in the previous series. So what can Nukin get here? Can they get things back to even? Saibi spikes Joker, but still able to make it back to stage. Arsene should be coming online momentarily here. There he is, 54% apiece. They'll opt to back away, reset the neutral, and look for those combo starters.
That's a great time for Joker to come online. 60%, add on a bit, like 20, 30 more, and you're in kill range with this lad. Dice, though, able to weave around a whole lot and kind of outlast this Joker Arsene, however. It's about to go away, only about 10% left. Those hits will take it. And Dice still at 60, the same percent as when Arsene came as when they left. Dice doing such a good job at neutralizing the biggest part of Nukin's kit. Oh, wow. And a kill off the top.
Again, the up airs just not DIing properly. Nukin caught drifting away, and the up air is enough to take it. That's 3 stocks taken via that up air. Dice taking these stocks so early, and he's only at 77% here against Joker. You're going to need a little bit more to really get to those raw, stray hit kill power that Joker has in their kit. A lot of drag downs still being landed, a lot of multi-hits chipping away at this stock. Arsene back online, though, and that's the kill power that Nukin's looking for.
Do keep in mind, no matter what at this point, MSU is going to be in the lead. They already got the stock kill. There's only 1 stock that can be gained from Northwood at this point. And so Dice doing their job, keeping this lead stable, looking to extend it now, though. They can't get past Arsene this time, however. Nukin takes them to the top rope and gets out with 2 stocks.
Big catch there on the double jump, and that is something that Dice really hasn't done all day, but Nukin calls it out. Double jump up air with Arsene will absolutely do the trick, and so Nukin, while they are at a deficit entering this next round, they've taken down one of the key anchors for the side of the Spartans.
Yeah, we didn't see Dice just went neutral there. 1 for 1, 3 stocks in, 3 stocks out. Usually significantly more efficient than that. And so the game plan for Northwood here at this point has kind of done its job. They've kept a lot of resources back. They've stopped MSU from gaining that huge lead that they were able to last time, that huge shift in stocks. MSU's gone through a lot of the players they used to turn that momentum last time, to have that big stock increase, to jump themselves into the lead, whereas Northwood has kept a lot of those players back for this last half.
And what's interesting for the side of Michigan State is that their game plan has been relatively the same. While the top 3 have changed, the anchors, the backups have not. It's going to be the fighting game representatives that are stepping into the ring. Suspect will be first. The Kazuya that closed out that opening series here will be going up against Nukin's Joker. So a battle of DLCs here in one of the most pivotal rounds of this grand final.
Yeah, and characters that people would say absolutely got that DLC buff. All we need here to see from Nukin is 1 stock off the table. Suspect doing their quick little button check that they always do. Gotta keep the tradition set. You gotta get in the routine and sending it just like that. It's going to be Nukin opening us up, but very quickly responded to. Oh, Suspect, what have you brought to the table today? Arsene on the table immediately, but not in the way that Nukin would want for it, as they're at 70%.
All the players for the side of Northwood have been able to shield that last hit of that combo, but if they don't, they likely drop the stock for it. So good on them to be able to survive, but that is still percent trending in Michigan State's favor. Suspect able to weave their way back to stage, but only for a moment. I don't know if they got their jump back. They got grabbed here, but they got the spike off instead. Now they've got stage control, and with Arsene gone, Nukin will have to find a different way to kill.
Yeah, this is go time for Suspect. They really need to get this kill quickly. At 115, the percentage trending upwards. They've got that comeback ability online now, so they have a lot more power in their kit ready to go. They're still not able to really find a huge entrance onto Nukin, though. Nukin doing such a good job of finding these grabs and throwing Suspect across the stage back and forth. That, though, is gonna do it. The Paralyze comes through. The follow-up is there. And so Suspect has their first stock.
And you see the patience there from Suspect to hold that up B until he knows that it's going to be able to land. And you saw the tech on the down air as well to help Suspect survive. Even here, surviving the up airs and up Bs that are connecting. Suspect up to 170, make that 180. And without Arsene, that back throw won't kill. Still able to survive here, able to snap back to the ledge. Nearly 200% on this Kazuya. And with all this rage, it does not matter if they find a way to land that opening stock, land that opening combo breaker, they will still be able to get in and do a ton of damage as they've already dealt 52.
Despite all his rage, he is still just a Kazuya going up against a low percent Joker. 215 on the table now. Oh, the counter called out. Almost finds the follow-up, just not quite there though. And that grab has a long enough animation that it's gonna stop Arsene from being able to stay on.
He's at 215 right now. Well, Dash attack will do the trick. So stock number 1 of Suspect is gone. A 1 stock lead here still for the side of Michigan State. Make it 2 though. The follow-up into the up smash is just too clean. And Suspect has put Northwood on their last hope of winner's side.
It's Frostbite. This is the player you want in this situation. They showed what's new in singles. They showed us what they can do in the last matchup in the first game of this 1v3, and now they're here to show us, can they bring it back? They need to get 5 stocks, can only drop 2.
Can only drop 2. And it is easier said than done because they are going up against the fighting game representatives. They are going up against Kazuya, and from what we've seen in Michigan State, we know that Terry, that Kresh is waiting in the wings. So It's going to be difficult for Frostbite to pull off, but it is still doable. And I'm curious to see what Frostbite's game plan is. They've been very clean today when it comes to landing reads and landing mix-ups, but I feel like against Kazuya, against Terry, you're going to have to try and win the game off stage, which is where Roy can struggle.
Yeah. Roy, I mean, the counter to the fighting game characters is always move them into the air, move them to the left or right off stage, and then you find your follow-up. And Roy does have a lot of good abilities there. They do have run off fair, run off down air. You know, they've got a lot moving, you know, especially on that last stock. If they're just willing to throw it out, they only need one more stock to kill. Run off stage, hit him with an up B. Why not? Just send it. At the end of the day, though, Roy, if they take it off stage, they go a little bit too far, they're not coming back from that trip.
Good early combo game again from Suspect, and they just do not waste any time. Right from go, they run up, are in your face, and are able to get quick 70% dealt. And now they got the Roy off stage. Also, projectile for Kazuya could be brutal in a matchup like this, with Roy being so dependent on his double jump to recover. Back thrown off stage. High recovery, no. Dips back down low. Good tech, though, but still gets beat out by that forward air. Now a chance here to be thrown off stage for Suspect. The up B covering the low recovery there, saying I've got armor too, and mine's a kill move as well. You cannot safely recover if I dip back down low. Look for that mix-up later on this series, and look for a stock right here. No up B required. That will just do the trick outright, and that's down goes Frostbite's first stock.
And I want to say, Kazuya, I don't feel like is one of those characters that really has a very limited kill band, you know, where they've got to get it between 90 and between 100. Doesn't matter. They can kill us whenever they want to.
State Farm Arena, Frostbites on their last stock, on the last hope of Northwood's winner side life here. Michigan State is one stock away from getting a bracket reset against one of the best teams here. That is so difficult to say, but right now, look at the combo game. 74, 83, 100. He wanted the punch. He's looking for the follow-up. Frostbite stalling out, trying to find the opening here, but the command grab comes through. And with all that rage, that will be it. We're getting a bracket reset. Michigan State have sent Northwood to the loser side.
Just like that. No mistakes, no pause, no hesitation. It's Suspect on the Kazuya, and I suspect them of a great Smash game.
What a huge series. 2-0 for Michigan State. They shut down Northwood. That is the first set Northwood has really dropped all tournament long since pools. Since pools on Friday. Northwood has been so clean, but Michigan State, they win 2 games back-to-back on stage, and they 2-0'd the hometown team, the Fightin' Illini as well. So they look fantastic, and they will be getting ready for that bracket reset. But we will have to take a short break to get ready for that bracket reset, and Rocket League is right around the corner for our fans.
Yeah, we're going to have to step back, sadly. That bracket reset not going to be on stream, but we do have some amazing Rocket League action coming at you very soon. Some amazing casters for that as well. I've heard they're pretty